What's so unique at the end of the week? It's a fabulous full moon Friday.
When work is done and the singing's begun, it's a fabulous full moon Friday.
We can't share a room,
So let's bring Broadway to Zoom
and invite all of your Bay Area favorites.
It's Friday at 8.
Make a date. Don't be late. Tune in.
Tune in
To our full moon Friday. Brought to you by 42nd Street Moon.
Hello, and welcome to the Gateway Theater. My name is Lisa Marie Newton. Behind me, way back there on the piano, is Tom Shaw, and this is Songs of Midlife Madness. I'm the kind of person you meet at certain dismal, dull affairs. Center of the crowd, talking much too loud, running up and down the stairs. Well, it seems to me that I have seen too much in too few years. And although I've tried, I just can't hide. My eyes are red with tears. You better stop and look around. Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. Here comes my 19th nervous breakdown. Picture it. It is 2010. And I am living right here in San Francisco, and I am living my best life. I am acting, and I am singing, and I am mostly getting paid for it. And I weigh about 30 pounds less than I do today, and I have long red hair that everybody thinks is natural. And I turn 40, and I do what all of us who have breasts do when we turn 40. I go in for a mammogram. And at the mammogram, they see something. But the radiologist says to me, now, I don't want you to worry. 99% of these things are perfectly benign, but let's get a biopsy. So I go home and I tell my husband this information, and he says, oh, my ex-wife had the same thing. She said that 99% of these things are perfectly benign. So I go in for this biopsy, which I will not describe here because I don't want to relive it. But when it is all over, the nurse hands me a tiny little ice pack that I can put inside my bra. And she says, now, I don't want you to worry because 99% of these things are perfectly benign, but let's make an appointment for you to come in and get your results in person. So 3 days later, I am sitting in my car outside the hospital, and I am shaking, but I screw up my courage, and I walk in, and I sit down in a very pink waiting room, and a nice lady comes walking down the hallway, and she says, Lisa, I'm the nurse practitioner. Why don't you come down the hallway to my office? So I follow her down the longest hallway in the world, still shaking. And when I finally get there, she motions for me to have a seat. And as I'm sitting, she says, I'm sorry to say it was cancer. Oh, who's to blame? This girl's just insane. Well, nothing I do don't seem to work. It only seems to make matters worse. So please. I was still in school when I had that fool who really messed my mind. And after that, I turned my back on treating myself kind. And after all these years, I thought I'd rearrange your mind. But after a while, I realized I was rearranging mine. You better stop and look around. Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes, here comes my night. my diagnosis, how I would respond to something like that, I would have told you that I would remain very calm, very stoic. Maybe one tear would make its way lazily down my cheek. But that is not how it went down. I convulsed with sobs. I sobbed so loudly and for so long that the poor nurse practitioner said, "Oh, I am so sorry. Do you need a moment? Why don't I go get you a glass of water?" And she left the room. But I knew something in that moment. I knew that San Francisco was not big enough for me. I still wanted a Tony. Hell, I still wanted an EGOT. And so, 4 years later, 4 years, chemo, surgery, radiation, and immunotherapy later, I bought a one-way ticket. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I wanna be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray around the very heart of it. New York, New York. I wanna wake up in a city that doesn't sleep, to find I'm king of the hill, top of the heap. My little town blues are melting away. I'll make a brand new start of it in old New York. If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York. Oh, New York City, the Big Apple. In the greatest city in the world, in the greatest city in the world. Sorry, there was a lot of Hamilton going on when I was there. This is where I'm finally going to be somebody. This is where I am going to be the person that I have never been. I am going to be confident. I am going to be tough. I am going to be sexy. Maybe I'll even have an affair. Maybe with a woman. Maybe with a man. Maybe with Jack Nicholson. I mean, after all, the very first song I sang at my very first audition in New York was this one from The Witches of Eastwick, the musical. The night commences, my spirits soar, and soon my senses go wild, and what's more, all my defenses go right out the door. Do I do I don't? Yes, I will, till I won't. It's another night at Daryl's. His hands caress me, and it feels swell. His words impress me, I'm caught in his spell. His eyes undress me, his hands do as well. It's just par for the course, all rewards, no remorse. Just another night at Daryl's, and I'm scaling the heights, just detailing the sounds and the sights of those amorous nights. All those audacious, flirtatious, salacious delights. Okay, it's tragic. What can I say? There's not an adjective that can convey the sort of magic that he sends my way. Just the smallest amount, and I'm down for the count. Oh God, another night. And okay, it's not a fairy tale. not exactly every dream I've ever known, any dream I've ever known. But it's intense, it's heady stuff. If it's not love, it's close enough. And it sure beats being alone. I get connection, a bit of fun. I feel affection where once I felt none. And on reflection, what's done is done. So why not do it again and again and again and again and again and again and again? Where life was once cold and sterile, now it's positively feral. All thanks to Daryl's guiding light. Another run, another right, another taste, another bite. But what the hell, another night? Woo! At Daryl's, another night at Daryl's. I know, right? Isn't that a great song? And I sing that song at audition after audition after audition. And I don't get this audition, and I don't get that audition, and I don't get the other audition. In fact, I don't get any auditions that I sing for. And somehow, the off Broadway plays that I'm doing don't seem to be getting me anywhere near my Tony. And I am so close. I have friends, close friends, who are working on Broadway right now. I have friends, close friends, who have won Tonys, who have been nominated for Tonys. I live right down the street from Lin-Manuel Miranda. And still, nothing. And I realize at some point that I am being visited by an old friend, a low-level depression that I have successfully fought off for years and years and years. And I know that this low-level depression is back because I find myself night after night sitting alone in my apartment in Washington Heights, reading very sad poetry. My favorite poet is Edna St. Vincent Millay, and my favorite poem by her is one that has been set to music several times, and for some reason, this poem just describes my own grief and depression so perfectly. And it's been set to music several times, including this one by a fellow San Francisco to New York transplant, my friend Rona Siddiqui. Time does not bring relief, you all have lied. Who told me time would ease me of my pain? I miss him in the weeping of the rain. I want him at the shrinking of the tide. The old snows melt from every mountainside, and last year's leaves are smoke in every lane, but last year's bitter loving must remain. Heaped on my heart and my old thoughts abide. There are 100 places where I fear to go, so with his memory they brim. And entering with relief some quiet place, where never fell his foot or shone his face, I say there is no memory of him here, and so stand stricken after 3 years in New York, I finally decided to give up. I thought I'll become a normal person. Maybe I'll become the most normal of all normal people. And so I moved back to the West Coast, and I got what my parents would call a real job. And a couple of years ago, 5 close friends from college and I all went on a glorious 4-day trip to the Bahamas. We went to celebrate the fact that we had just turned 50. 50. 50 meant that we were now grown-ass women, and we didn't give a shit what anybody thought. 50 was going to be a whole new chapter. Did I mention that this was January of 2020? So I was thinking about a song that really encapsulated how I felt in that first year of the pandemic. And it brings me to this song by William Finn from Falsettos, which is about what happens when your husband falls in love with another man in the middle of the AIDS crisis. I'd like to be a princess on a throne, to have a country I can call my own, and a king who is lusty and requires a fling with a female thing. Great. Men will be men. Let me turn on the gas. I caught them in the den with Marvin grabbing Wizard's ass. Oh, sure, I'm sure he did his best. I mean, he tried to be what he was not. The things he was are things which I forgot. He's a queen, I'm a queen. Where is my crown? I'm breaking down. I'm breaking down. It's so exciting when you have it. I mean, that stinks. I mean, he's great. It's me who is the matter, talking matter than the maddest chatter. If I repeat one more word, I swear I'll lose my brain. What else can I explain? Oh yes, it's true, I can cry on cue, but so can you. I'm breaking down. I'm breaking down, down, down. You ask me if it's fun to cry over nothing. It is. I'm breaking down. You know that moment when a global pandemic hits and the show that you are in closes the weekend after opening. That show was Our Town. Once in your life, you ought to go to a country where they don't talk in English and don't even want to. And then the show that you're understudying closes the weekend before closing. That show was Steel Magnolias. Drink your juice, Shelby! And then at work, they tell you have to work from home. No, I'm sorry, I don't have that. What is that called? Broom? Spoon? Zoom? I don't know what that is. And then your office, which needs 12 to 15 new clients every month just to survive, goes from 15 new clients in January to 12 in February to 6 in March to 0 in April, May, and June. So they decide to pivot to doing everything online, and they need to have up a program that is up and running and making money in 30 days. And because you are the only one who knows anything about computers or about internet marketing, it's decided that you should do this. And you know that that isn't even possible, but you still stay up night after night learning all about funnel marketing, and you get laid off anyway. And then because you are such a nice person, you decide that you should work for free with clients even though you have already gotten another job. Oh God, what is it now? Now my pancreas is yelling at me. Did I mention that I also have type 1 diabetes? No, that's only been going on for 45 years. Ah! Marvin was never mine. He took his meetings in the boys' latrine. I used to cry, he'd make a scene. I'd rather die than dry clean Marvin's wedding gown. I'm breaking down. I'm breaking down. It's so upsetting when you found that what's rectangular is round. I mean, it stinks. I mean, he's queer breaking down. I'm breaking down, down, down. The only thing that's breaking up is my family. The only thing that's breaking up is my family and me. I'm breaking down. Thank you. If you want to know if I survive my midlife crisis, if I survive the pandemic, come and see my show, Songs of Midlife Madness, right here at the Gateway Theater, May 21st and 22nd, with me and the Tom Shaw Trio. I am Lisa Marie Newton. Way back there is the brilliant Tom Shaw. Thank you and good night.
I was sitting in the passenger seat of a friend's car a number of years ago, and I turned to her and I said, you know, I'm discovering that I'm really queer. And she cut me off and she said, Mindy, we know already. You don't have to keep telling us we know. And I know in my heart that what she meant when she said that was, Mindy, we love you. You don't ever have to worry about us loving you. Please stop worrying. But what I meant was, I'm spending time in queer community and it is changing who I am and how I want to be in this world. It's changing how I process information and how I get from moment to moment, and I am worried that if I don't tell you, I'm gonna leave you behind. And she didn't do anything wrong in that conversation. I didn't do anything wrong in that conversation, but because I didn't have the words to say that to her, I did, by accident, end up leaving her behind. And I think I've left a lot of people behind over the years, in the theater community, in the cabaret community, for exactly that reason. This cabaret is a collection of some of the stories that I would need to tell in order to bring those people back into my life. With so little to be sure of, if there's anything at all, if there's anything at all, I'm sure of. Here and now, and us together, it was marvelous to know you, and it isn't really through. Crazy business, this life we live in. Don't complain about the time we're given, with so little to be sure of in this world. One of those stories, one of the reasons I am who I am today and why I'm so different, is what it was like to live in a particular queer chosen family for a couple of years. For example, we'd all be laying in a big cuddle pile on the floor, having 5 different conversations at once, and somebody would say, I got misgendered again at this event by a staff member. And everyone would commiserate and empathize. But by the end of the night, they also had a plan for an education campaign to make that particular community space safer for our friend and everyone like them. That plan was implemented within 2 months, and it was very well received. And that wouldn't even have been the main focus of conversation that night. It would have been a topic that was picked up and dropped a half dozen times over the course of the evening. Having those people as my friends changed me. They expanded my definition of kindness. They taught me to take up space in this world and to not tolerate mistreatment. All I'll ever be, I owe you. If there's anything to be, being sure enough of you made me sure enough of me. Thanks for everything we did, everything that's past, everything that's over too fast. None of it was wasted. All of it will last. Everything that's here and now and us together. It was marvelous to know you. And it isn't really through. Crazy business, this life we live in. Don't complain about the time we're given, with so little to be sure of in this world. We had a moment, a marvelous moment, a marvelous moment. The woman I love has already been denied medical care that could have determined whether she lived or died on the basis of being transgender. I take my love to the bathroom in case anyone wants to fight her about her right to be there. I don't want to know what happens to her if Trump gets another term in office. I don't want to know what happens to her if the Republicans take the House and the Senate again. So we're looking at leaving the country. We're lucky. She has the resources to move us. Not everybody has that. This next song is from Hedwig and the Angry Inch, which is a cult classic film about a transgender person who flees Berlin to live in the United States as a self-described maligned songstress. And this is what I wish the United States would say to every trans person. Forgive me for I did not know. For I was just a boy, and you were so much more than any God could ever plan, more than a woman or a man. And now I understand how much I took from you. That when everything starts breaking down, you take the pieces off the ground vent for a minute? Look, I don't want to come across as a man-hater. I am not. I actually have a huge amount of empathy for what our society puts men through. And I have been sexually assaulted by someone who I thought was my friend. I have been gaslit, deliberately, maliciously brainwashed by a sociopathic ex-fiancé for 3 years. Got PTSD from that one. I have been, had my consent repeatedly violated by a different ex-fiancé to the point of permanent physical injury, and I have been, since I was 13 years old, groped, harassed, and followed by strangers, all of whom were men. So, I just need to vent. Just you wait, Henry Higgins, just you wait. You'll be sorry, but your tears will be too late. You'll be broke, and I'll have money. Will I help you? Don't be funny. Just you wait, Henry Higgins, just you wait. Just you wait, Henry Higgins, till you're sick. And you scream to fetch a doctor, double quick. I'll be off a second later and go straight to the theater. Henry Higgins, just you wait. Just you wait. Oh, wow, I've gone up there before. Well, we're gonna do it again. Should we take it just from the last I just need to vent? Yeah. Okay. So we were here. And I just need to vent. Just you wait, Henry Higgins, just you wait. You'll be sorry, but your tears will be too late. You'll be broke and I'll have money. Will I help you? Don't be funny. Just you wait, Henry Higgins, just you wait. Just you wait, Henry Higgins, till you're sick. And you scream to fetch a doctor double quick. I'll be off a second later and go straight to the theater. Henry Higgins, just you wait. Ooh, Henry Higgins, just you wait until we're swimming in the sea. Ooh, Henry Higgins, and you get a crap a little ways from me. When you yell, you're gonna drown, I'll get dressed and go to town. Oh, Henry Higgins, do you go, Henry Higgins? Just you wait. One day I'll be famous, I'll be proper and prim. Go to St. James so often I will call it St. Jim. One evening the king will say, oh Liza, oh thing, I want all of England your praises to sing. Next week, on the 20th of May, I declare Liza Doolittle Day. All of England will celebrate the glory of you, and whatever you wish and want, I gladly will do. Oh, thanks a lot, King, says I, in a manner well bred. But all I want is Henry Higgins' head. The Atlanta spa shootings of 2021 targeted Asian women who were presumed to be sex workers. I am a sexual Chinese American woman. That day was hard for me. I asked my girlfriend how she deals with the fact that so many people would love for her to be dead every day. I was so grateful to have someone to hold my hand who's walked a path like that. A month later, my Chinese father was attacked with a shard of glass on the streets of San Francisco. He's okay. I think his meditation practice really saved him from a lot of the trauma he could have internalized from that experience. The truth of the matter is, there is always something for us to be enraged about. Something that is worthy of our rage. The problem is that we as human beings cannot sustain that emotion long-term without suffering severe mental and physical health consequences. But that doesn't mean we can turn away from it either. Denial of harm is harmful, right? So we must face it and cling to our joy, nurture our peace, and celebrate our heritage. We must nurture these things. What good is sitting alone in your room? Come hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. Put down the knitting, the book, and the broom. Time for a holiday. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. Come taste the wine. Come hear the band. Come blow your horn. Start celebrating. Right this way, your table's waiting. No use permitting some prophet of doom to wipe every smile away. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. I used to have a girlfriend known as Elsie, with whom I shared 4 sordid rooms in Chelsea. She wasn't what you'd call a blushing flower. As a matter of fact, she rented by the hour. The day she died, the neighbors came to snicker. Well, that's what comes from too much pills and liquor. But when I saw her laid out like a queen, she was the happiest corpse I'd ever seen. I think of Elsie to this very day. I remember how she turned to me and say, what good is sitting alone in your room? Come hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. Put down the knitting, the book, and the broom. joy. We need it. And peace. They don't often get handed to us. So we must create them for ourselves. You can find it in a lot of places. Mine may be wildly different than yours. I find mine in nature, friends, cuddles, and in music. So to close out my set for today, I am going to share with you one of my favorite songs for exactly that purpose. But before I do, I would like to thank Joanna Gray and 42nd Street Moon for inviting me to do this set and for being willing to center queer voices. I want to thank our marvelous Tom Shaw, who's been playing piano, and Russell Deason and Steve Sanders, all three of whom have helped me musically puzzle this show together. I want to thank Bobby Wineapple, my acting teacher and mentor of nearly 20 years, as well as the late, great Richard Nicole, my voice teacher, mentor, and father figure, who taught me how to love fiercely. And I want to thank every friend who has ever loved me. I am a happier and more whole version of myself because of you. And with that, here is one of the songs that I have sung many times on my bedroom floor when I needed a dose of comfort. Child, I know you're weary and your eyes want to close. The days are getting longer, we're not getting any stronger. Trust me, Mama knows. But lie in my arms while you're sleeping and think of the rivers you've crossed. I'll tell you the tales I've been keeping for moments like this when your hope is lost. Hear my song, it'll help you believe in tomorrow. Hear my song, it'll help you survive all the pain. Hear my song, it was made for the times when you don't know where to go. Listen to the song that I sing. You'll be fine. Child, I know you're frightened and your throat's parched and dry. But just trust in Mama singing and the gift tomorrow's bringing. Trust it, don't ask why. Just lie in my arms and I'll tell you the things that you know but forget. The lies no one ever could sell you. I know that it's hard, but don't give up yet. Hear my song.